Recording is on.
Is on.
Okay, very good. So I'm recording right now the class. And guys, if I have a problem with the microphone, let me know. Just because what I have to use my cell phone as my microphone. The microphone of my computer broke down. I haven't been able to repair it. So I need to use the cell phone as a way of using the microphone. Okay. So if it fails, let me know. Okay. Cool. Let's start with questions about the exam, about the water class, about everything before starting with the theory, right? Because there are going to be some little issues related to theory that we need to cover today.
Ay, Andrés, venga con ella la que saque su perfil.
Turn up.
I'm going to silence this part.
Yeah, teacher, I have a question.
I know.
You said something about the report. We have to send it to you. So when do we have to do
The
it?
essay?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the essay is going to be delivered tomorrow midday, right?
Okay.
I told you so. I think during these days, I told you. Yeah, via WhatsApp, I told you that.
Yes,
And
sir.
so the due date is going to be tomorrow midday. Okay.
Teacher,
So
I have a
The full
uh,
essay, teacher, or just a part?
yeah, no, the full essay.
Got it.
you said that we must send you 10 pages, but
No, no,
those
no.
pages,
Maximum 10 pages, right? Because some students they were complaining about like a 5 pages were not enough.
What?
So yeah,
Teacher, for
some of that
example, I
5 pages
have
is not
around
enough.
7 pages.
but it is 10 pages just for the body of the essay or finish.
No, with just the body of the say, right? So if you think 10 pages is okay, well, 10 pages, make it 10 pages. That is why you're working in groups, right? But well, that's
I
it.
have a
Just
question.
question.
What's for next week? And how's the schedule?
Well, the schedule is going to be you're going to send a video, right? I think you have talked with Professor Laura, and she has explained the same thing that I'm going to do right now. What they're going to do right here, you're going to analyze, is going to be a corpus, right? And you're going to analyze two corpus right here, right? Two written reports, and you're going to categorize, so identify, categorize the mistake, the errors, sorry, and you're going to work on the third factor that is going to be the part related to the remediation plan, right? So it's going to be like that. Later on, we're going to be talking about these aspects, okay? So
Okay, how
worry
much
not.
lasts the video, teacher?
7 minutes, if I'm not wrong.
Yes,
7.
indeed.
Yeah.
So the exposition is we show the
Mm.
purpose and we start like saying I found this mistake as this is the source. Uh,
Yes.
is the activity to the remediation of those mistakes? Is that how it works?
Yep. Basically, it's going to be like that. Very good, Miss Moreno.
So I have one other question.
Another question, please.
What about the observation? The observation video, something like that?
The observations. Well, you're not going to work with the observation part on French this term, because we're going to work with that next term, right? So we're going to require French professors to send some French classes, recorded classes, for you to observe that. Those in English, you have already done the observation. Most of you, right, have conducted that observation. And during these days, I'm going to send you the criteria for you to take into account for those issues, right? So not to worry, it's not going to be that difficult. There's going to be something understandable, comprehensible.
But that's for next. That's for next
Next term?
term.
Yeah, next term, not this term. Next term.
Teacher, and what about the observation class format we have fulfilled before this situation?
Leave it over there because we're going to be working on that during the next term, right?
Okay. Right.
Okay.
So it means that the video we have to record of 7 minutes goes for both English and French for
No.
both courses.
No. If you are a teacher assistant in French, you're going to create a 7-minute video about your French class. If you are a teacher assistant in English, so you're going to create a 7-minute video in English, right? So those in French, those in English, in English.
Ya. Aquí llegó la profesora Laura.
So when are you going to send us the video to analyze?
What?
Yeah,
But no.
but-
Fabian, the analysis of the video is for the observations. That's for next term.
Yeah.
Ah.
Pay attention.
Isn't the video is the oral exam, isn't it?
The video is the oral exam. Yes.
It's just that we are talking about two different videos. One is for the oral exam next week, and for the observations, French teacher is going to give us. It is going to prepare some kind of video, and we have to do the observation over that video. And the observation, that how it's gonna work. I mean, we're gonna have to do any kind of written report, or well, I think we will figure that out next term. I mean, what
Yeah.
worries me more is next week.
Yeah. Basically, it's like that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Give me a second because I have a student right here asking me something.
Are you
No, I'm texting a student about the link.
Teacher, could you modify the deadline for the essay? Probably tomorrow midnight.
Tomorrow midnight?
Teacher.
Okay, tomorrow midnight.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So today we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20 people right here. 20 compromised students. Congratulations.
Wow.
Thanks.
Okay, well, it was a kind of evident sarcasm here. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's do a review about everything we have done. We have talked in this 17 minutes. So, number one, The exam is going to be a video related to the analysis of about the error analysis, okay, in which you're going to use two corpus. But as I was talking to the previous group, group C, I'm going to provide you material related to a course that I took when they were in third semester, if I'm not wrong, and what? And yes, and from there you can use the material. You can select the corpus, but just to what is this? Items, just to files. You can get a third one in order for you to practice, and that practice you can send it to me as a way of a quiz, right? So I'm going to explain a lot of things related to this idea. Okay, but worry not. I'm going to tell you today how to do it, what to do, and most importantly, why to do it. Right? So that's it. Oh, we have chats here. Okay. Okay, cool. Do we have to create slides for the video? Nice idea. But if you're going to use that, I'm going to use I'm going to provide this that source, that instrument, that tool that is called VoiceThread. I think is magnificent. By taking into account that what you can use your voice or your video, and then you're going to explain the whole phenomena right here. So sounds cool, right? If not, I'm going to let you know another tool that is called Screencast-O-Matic. We can use it today, and well, that's it. Okay, so well, I'm going to share my no. Before sharing my screen, I would like to know if you have more questions about the exam, about the essay, about the things, the coming things, or the coming duties. I know.
Mm.
So, no questions? No questions? Hold on.
I'm thinking about it.
You're thinking about it?
Yeah.
Teacher,
Yes.
actually, there is a rumor that the semester is going to be done like this, in this way, in this virtual way. Is it right?
Is it true? It is true. What we know related to some of the communications given by the Ministry of Education is to maintain this way of education until May the 30th, right? So yeah, May the 30th. Oops.
Thank you.
So yeah, just because we don't want, or yeah, so
This
we
is
have to
going
be
to be
kind of.
really hard, I guess.
So yeah, so the prevention goes to April the 13th, but considering what has been happening all of these days, and that there's no kind of cure right now, uh, and this virus is kind of powerful, right? So we need to be at home and delivering this or developing this kind of classes in this way, taking into account that we also have a chronogram or a calendar to achieve, right? And well, there are some people that they don't have the alternative to connect themselves into internet. That is kind of pity. That is kind of sad. So I'm not pretty sure on the things we're going to do with those students, right? So these classes right here, this is the first and last class that I'm going to do this long, right? So like 2 hours. Um, because I need to cover things from last class, meaning last week, and this class, right? The next classes are going to be provided via, I'm going to say this, I'm going to give the material via Edmodo, and then we're going to have, let's say, something like a 1 hour and a half meeting during the days we have the class in order for us to have some like a questions. We're going to create a kind of panel, right? For you to come up with your questions, with your doubts, and we're going to create this kind of round table for us to work in this way and to solve those doubts, right? So the less I want you to have is doubts. So if you have questions, ask the questions. If you don't have questions, I think you're going to be working with no pressure or working at your own style. Can we do another class to show our progress to for the exam? Ah, nice. Something like a pre-class or a pre-exam,
Ya están todas. Las voy a empezar a pasar a francés, espérame.
like a tutorial. Oh yeah, yeah, tutorials. Yes, I'm going to have tutorials next week. You let me know when you're available and what, and I'm going to I can work with you, right? So you can show me your screen, you can show me what you're working, and basically that's all. Okay, worry not. So the more I can help you, the better. Okay. Okay. Any other question? Something else. Those who are feeling kind of depressed, anxious, just because of this quarantine issue, and you have nobody to talk, or you don't feel that kind of sure to talk to anybody, and you feel kind of sad or bad with this kind of situation, let me know. We can talk a little bit. I'm not the expert, but you're my students, and you're part of my worries right now. Okay. And yeah, if I'm coughing or just like cleaning up my nose, it's just because of the allergy. It's not corona, not to worry. Okay, could you explain the sources of errors? Yes, that is the class for today. I'm going to explain that, and worry not, right? So don't go far beyond. Okay, more questions? Teacher, so can we select the corpus for creating the oral exam from the material that you will post? Yes, that's alternative number one. Alternative number two, if you have already selected your corpus, deal, right? It works too. So I'm just giving extra material or more alternatives for you to work with it. More questions? Because I only have written report in advanced level. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, report in advanced level sounds kind of difficult to be selected there. So, yeah. So I'm going to post that B2, B1 level. Sorry, it's B1. I don't know if I have A2, but I do have B1. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to download that information. I'm going to share it to you sooner as I can. Okay, so I think tomorrow afternoon I'm going to be what I'm going to be sharing that information. Those who have the cell phone on and next to your computers, Please put them in silent mode.
Sorry.
Thank you. Okay, not to worry. Okay, anything else? Can I change my teacher assistant's alternative? Okay, talking about teacher assistants. Well, I think you have heard information about Professor Laura and the information that was already sent by Professor Magdalena Martinez, right? From A2 to B1. Okay, I'm going to start with one question at a time. So here, can I change my teacher assistant alternative? Okay. Well, right here, what we're solving is to talk with the teachers, right? To have this contact with them, and yeah, to have that connection, that connection, that contact, right? That link. So how can I say this? So if, for example, you can't find the email of these teachers, let me know and I can provide you the phone number, right? Just for academic purposes, okay? And well, so if you think that for you it's even more easier to change your teacher assistant alternative, something like at the course, wow, we can do it, right? But once again, you're going to require the letter, you're going to send the letter, and anyway, so we will see what to do, okay? Okay, here, can we change that like from A2 to B1? This is question about the corpus, the text. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't remember if I have A2 texts, but I have B1. Okay. Okay. So if you can find, for example, some texts from A2, amazing. If I can find those in A2, nice. But I do remember that I have some of them in B1. But let me look for them, and we can talk about some little issues about that. Gloria says, what about those who have the teacher assistant in English for other degrees? Same situation, we have to contact them. Okay, so for example, what is going to be just related to Professor Edinson Garcia, if I'm not wrong, and Professor, I don't know if Miguel, he has some groups. I don't know if Gonzalo, Professor Edwin Barbosa. So the same thing. So you let me know about this teachers, and I'm going to add the contact, right? So I'm going to create a grid, right? So with your name, the name of the teacher, the name of your course, and the contact, right? So for you to be in touch with them. Okay, anything else? Angel. So you mean we are going to keep in touch with the teacher we are assisting even though we're not participating in the class? Okay, talking about the class. Okay, so we're going to have two alternatives, right? Number one, for the observation protocol, what you're going to do, what we're going to do is the following issue. So for example, if this teacher is going to have, for example, let's say any kind of video conference like we are doing today, so you're going to ask the teacher for you to have the alternative to join that class, and for you to have that experience on how this teacher is going to manage and deal with that class. Okay, number one. Number two, well, the number one is a possibility, right? Just if it happens. But number two is going to happen. Is going to happen, right? So it's going to be related to the written reports. So as the teachers are going to require the students to write some reports, essays, letters, everything related to written production, what you're going to be is in touch with them, and you're going to help them grading, right? Based on what? Based on error analysis. And that's it. Okay, Angel. What about those who didn't manage to do their teacher assistants in French? What about those who didn't manage to do the teacher assistant in French? You're talking that you're not doing that in French, you're doing that in English, right? Or am I wrong? Angel? Those listening to Solar Stereo, thank you so much, but this is not the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I must do it in French. Okay. So those who are going to do that in French, you're talking about what? The exam or the observation? The observation? Okay, so if it's going to be the observation is going to be then next term, meaning after not the following week, but the other week. Okay, so that is going to be the teacher Laura explained. The teacher Laura, teacher Laura. Okay, that's a mistake. That's an error or a mistake. Is that an error or a mistake when they say the teacher Laura explained that? Let's put the context in practice. What is that? No, not to worry, Angel. Not to worry.
Mistake.
Mistake. Why is a mistake?
Error.
Because
Error. It is an error.
Error. It is an error.
Error.
That is interlanguage. Very good. That's interlanguage. That is not a what? That is not a mistake. That is an error. It's an interlanguage, right? Remember, we're doing a transference. So the teacher Laura, la profesora Laura, right? So that comes from Spanish. In English, we say just Miss Torres or teacher Laura, but it's even more common, Miss Torres, right? Anyway, cool. Very good. I couldn't be that in that video. Sorry. Yeah, Angel. So the observation, and I want to turn everything. I want to mute everything. Mute. Boom. That's it. So what I'm saying right here is this. So once again, if we're going to do these observations, once again, those in English, you're going to do the observations in English, or you have done the observations in English, right? So, how can I say it? Nice. So those who have decided to work in English, so you have already done your observations. Some of you haven't, right? So not to worry. Those who haven't, I'm going to provide you maybe a video for you to observe that, and for you to have that that criteria. Okay, number one. Number two, those in French next week after the exam, you're going to do the observation based on some videos that the French teachers are going to provide you. Okay, so not to worry about that. Once again, about the exam. The error analysis. So the ones in French, you're going to do the error analysis in French. The ones in English, you're going to do that in English. Clear? Okay, cool. Any other question?
Profe, si nadie responde es porque las dudas no están claras. Sorry, pero es la verdad.
Okay. So questions. Ask the questions, please. You have more questions? Ask the questions. As clear as Pamplona's river. Nice. Okay. Guys, questions? If you have questions, ask them because I need to solve them. Okay? Okay.
What about second period? Second term.
Okay, not to worry. I'm going to talk about the chronogram for you to follow it, right? And that's all. So that's part of the class. Not to worry.
Okay, teacher.
Okay, cool. Anybody else? Questions? Well, Andres says, I think it's clear. Shirley? Okay. It says, can you repeat once again why the sentence was an error? Because we're making something that is called transference, right? Okay, very good.
Profe,
Okay.
¿ya dijo para cuándo era el parcial?
Oh, yeah, the exam.
O sea,
It's
¿qué
going to be for,
fecha? Pues como
it's going to
en
be,
un...
yes?
I
¿Ah?
think that information is on that model. I mean, Laura has post something about that. It's
Ah,
a
ya, ya.
document.
Sí, sí,
It's
sí,
a
sí, sí,
document
sí.
with all she's going to have to take into account, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And the date.
That's it. So
Sí,
mine
sí,
is going
sí.
to be
Pero,
next week.
profe...
It's going to be next week, next class. So meaning
Next week,
Friday at this
next
time.
class.
For French people, it's going to be April the first,
Yeah,
April the
yeah.
1st is going to be, let me check. Yeah, but for Professor Laura, it's going to be April the 1st, but for me, it's going to be Friday, damn it, April the 3rd. Okay, remember that a mistake right here is when you have a lapsus, okay? So you don't pay attention, and maybe you can correct it, but when you don't correct it instantaneously, that
Inter,
becomes an error, okay? So
inter.
meaning,
yeah, I think it is because it is taken. I mean, it's interference because we are taking from a mother language, from Spanish, the word
Ajá.
the teacher, but actually in
Mhm.
English we don't use the article. So when you take
mhm,
something as true, but it isn't, is an error. But when
mhm.
you know the rule, etc., and you have a lapsus or forgotten them, it's a mistake.
Very good. Amazing. Okay. Could you make a review in general about error and mistake once again? Yes. That's part of the class of today's class. Okay. Okay. 40 minutes has passed. Have passed. Sorry, that's a mistake. It said has passed. Have passed. And well, I'm going to do I'm going to continue with the class. I'm going to try to do it as fast as possible. Okay, cool. Last question. No questions?
I think so.
You think so? Okay, very good. That was a powerful female voice, empowered voice. No, just kidding. Okay. Well, I want to share my screen. I'm sharing it right now. I'm going to mute everybody. So I'm going to be the only one transmitting right here. If you so if you, for example, do not see my screen, let me know. If you, for example, do not listen to me, let me know. Okay. All right. Are you watching my screen right now? Please type in the what in the on the chat room if you're watching my screen. Suleima, you want to say something?
No.
Okay, very good. Okay, nice. Okay, guys, please silence your microphones, right? And because if I start talking and you start talking at the same time, the screens are going to start flipping. Okay, so well, not sure. Cool. As we have it right here, what if I do this? Okay, so guys, I would like to do this part. So, for example, maybe on your cell phones or in your computers, you're watching some like that everybody talks, right? So, first suggestion, you look for my screen and you click on my screen for you to look for it. Yeah, that's a buckle, not to worry. Or, right? Or you go here if you're in this in the computers. If you go here to Google toggle title view, and that you're going to see the whole the whole what the whole party, and you click on my screen, right? And it's going to appear over there, right? Nice. Okay. Now that everybody's here, I'm going to continue with the some little aspects related to what about errors and mistakes. Where is that? No, it's not here. Nope, 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 nope. Where was that? I left it. No, the PDF, this part. Give me a minute to have tons of things inside my computer. So it's going to take a little bit to load. And okay, guys, I'm going to share with you a set of 8 different PDFs, right? For you to work, for you to read related to error analysis, okay? Plus the what?
Teacher, sorry, how many PDF?
Like 8, but they talk about the same, right? So worry not. They talk about the same. So it's for you to have more information, more ideas on what to do on related to the related to the error analysis theory and error analysis practice. Okay. Okay. Good.
Okay.
I know. I'm going to use my cell phone for me to check. For me to check what? For me to check. For me to check your the chat.
Okay.
No internet access. Please check the router. Oops. Jitsimit. Give me a moment, please.
Don't worry.
Porque cuando inicié me salió algo que recording a song. Algo
No, recording is on.
is on. Ah, teacher, yo entendía recording a song.
No, no, no way, no way,
Pero
no way. Mm. So no, it's not recording a sound. Okay, it's recording is on because I'm recording the whole class.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Okay, this thing is kind of disruptive. Now, as I was telling you before, right here in this PDFs, I want to talk about some little things related to right here. This one from Mohammad Al Krashek, related to a review study of error analysis theory. Give me a second, please. Okay, cool. As I was telling you before, here in this document, what you're going to find
¿Ya
over
terminó?
here. Oh, what? Okay, so as I was telling you before, right here, in this study, what we're going to do right here is going to read some theoretical foundations related to the error analysis, right? So here you're going to have right here the theoretical foundations. You're going to find some theories in a random way about what error analysis is. In the second part, the theoretical assumptions, we're not going to cover that right here, but it is vital for you to read it. Then investigating second language or foreign language errors, right? So that is going to be a fast review related to what we covered 2 weeks ago, right? And here, steps for error analysis. We're going to read this little part, and then collection of sample of the learner language, identification of errors, and this right here is going to be the focus of today's class. So right here, what we're going to take into account, by taking into account the information provided by ELIS 1999, page 49, factors to consider when collecting samples of learner's language, right? So here we're going to see just the factors which can be related to the language and the learner, right? So in the language, we're going to find some little aspects related to medium, the genre, the content, and from the learner, we're going to use the level, the mother tongue, and the language learning experience, right? Okay. Away from that, we're going to work with the description of errors, and this is going to be a practical exercise that we're going to have here. Okay, so here we're going to take into account 3 different facts related to errors. The first one, this one right here, where's the second? Okay, so this part right here, I would like you to pay attention to it. Right. So the omission part. Okay, this one is. So in the omission, as you can see right here, remember that one of the things related to errors is to omit something or to add something, right? So right here it is going to be related to one of the issues that I told you last time. What is, I forgot the name of this. Assuming that one rule is going to be applied to every other thing, right? Or every other aspect. If we see, for example, right here, the morphological omission, we're going to see right here the following example. A strange thing happened to me yesterday. This is morphological omission. Guys, you can now use your microphones in order to tell me what is the mistake here. A strange thing happened to me yesterday.
The conjugation of the verb.
The conjugation. Okay, so what is happening? What is missing?
Past
Uh,
simple.
Very good. So what we need right here is going to be, where's the issue which counts? So right here, what we need to do is going to
Something
be,
happened to me yesterday. In past simple.
yes, easy as that. So we
Okay.
have it like happened, right? So a strange thing happened happened to me yesterday, right?
well,
So this is going to be the what the issue that is happening. As it is going to be morphological, let's remember something, that the morphological part is going to be focused on how omitting or adding some morphemes are going to affect the meaning of a word. Okay, so in this case, we see that it is not the same. It is not the same happen and happened. Okay.
okay.
Now we're going to use the syntactical omission. In the following example, we say we must say also the names. Sorry, must say also the names. I already gave you the answer.
Yeah, the answer.
Brilliant. That was a
Yeah.
mistake. That's a lapsus. Okay. Okay, syntactical omission.
The
So when we
pronoun.
say
The noun.
the pronoun, very good. Yeah. So must we say also the names? So in this case, we're going to add right here the what the pronoun. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to see if
Okay,
you're
teacher.
writing something. An idiot. Overgeneralization. Thank you, Shirley. That's the term that I was looking for. Okay. Amazing. Now, addition. So addition right here is when you're going to well, this is going to sound redundant. When you're going to add something, when you're going to put something extra. Example, in morphology, the books is here. What is wrong here?
The verb to
Remember,
be.
morphological.
The verb
The
to be.
conjugation
The
of the verb.
the morpheme of plural.
Very good. The plural.
The correct conjugation of the verb to be.
Book.
Well, those who said the correct conjugation of the verb, yes and maybe no. Maybe it's going to be related to the grammar part, but these right here is when we're saying, for example, we added this right here could be a mistake, right? So we were typing, and we lost the focus related to what to write here. In that we had this, so the books is here. So this final S could be taken as what? Maybe a typological error, right? So you added just a final S and that's it, right?
Sorry, teacher.
So
A
this
question.
is addition. Yes, questions.
And in that case, it's possible that it is a problem or a mistake of morphosyntax because it affects, well, in Spanish, el sintagma nominal.
Yes, of course. Right here is going to be affecting, yes, the subject. Yeah, the noun is being affected. Yes. And by taking into account the who's writing right here? Agregar a Claudia. Is Claudia here? Yes, Claudia's here. Claudia is not in the group, in the WhatsApp group. Okay.
Not in the WhatsApp group, but I'm here right now. So hello.
Okay. Okay, amazing. Very good. Okay. What? Yeah. So yes. So this could be considered, yeah, in a morphological factor, right? But also it's going to be well, right here is
Morphosyntax.
could be morphosyntax, could be, but it's going to be even more focused on morphology. Okay, nice. Guys, remember that if you have activated your microphone, the
please.
the screens are going to be something like a.
En inglés y en
Es como Paola.
Paola.
Paola, turn off the microphone.
Paola, please don't disturb the class.
Please, I'm recording the class, so do not use rude words, okay? Okay, very good. I'm going to continue right here. Okay, nice. In syntax, right? So we say, for example, the London, the teacher Laura. So what's the problem here? Yes, it's interference. Yes, of course, but
interference.
Hi. Why?
Because
we are taking the role for Spanish.
I'm going to travel to London, not to the London. So I don't know.
Very good. Remember that there are going to be some exceptions, right? There are going to be some exceptions, like the United Kingdom, right? United Kingdom. Yeah. Or the United States of America, right? So in that case, we can use the United Kingdom, the Republic of China, the Democratic Republic of China, the Dominican Republic, right? So those would be just exceptions.
Generalization? Sorry.
Once again?
So in that case, the problem is overgeneralization?
I'm not pretty sure about that, right? I wouldn't say that it's going to be overgeneralization. It's going to be just taking one rule from English one rule from Spanish to English, right? Because right here, this two that I have just posted in the chat is going to be it's going to be from Spanish. Okay, cool. Now, lexicon. Let's say I stayed there during 5 years ago.
4. No?
I lived.
Omit the.
I live
Yeah.
there. I live there because state. I think that we use state to stay somewhere, but I don't know how to explain. But I think that verb doesn't correspond to that.
With the semantic of the sentence.
Yes, and this is a lexicon problem. Then how does the words work?
I stayed there during 5 years.
I don't know.
What's up, teacher?
Diego.
Diego.
Yes.
I say ago, but
ago because this is past simple. If was present perfect or past perfect,
it's in addition.
I stay there.
Are you there, teacher? Are you there? Please.
Oh.
Es que no tiene el micrófono.
Miércoles no hay internet.
No, se le cayó el internet al profe.
Menos mal que se le cayó fue a él y no a nosotros.
Alguien que le diga que haga el F4.
Wait.
Take your time.
Bueno, chicos, una pregunta. ¿La clase del profesor la va a hacer literal las 3 horas?
Solo 2 horas.
Am I back?
¿Cuántas?
Am I back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. My microphone got disconnected, so I don't know what happened.
Teacher, a
Okay.
question. How many times is going to last the course?
One more hour or maybe 40 minutes, and that's off. Now, I'm not going to be talking during 2 more hours.
Okay. Did you listen, Angel?
Yeah, I listened. I can listen, but sometimes I cannot talk. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah, you can fix it by using F4 Alt F4. Nice. I can kick you out from here. Right? So,
It doesn't
right
work
here.
for something knows about
Yeah.
the tech.
Teacher, could you show us the PDF again, please?
Once again. Yeah, so I was saying that here, ago is the extra word that does not correspond in this part. Okay. Now, selection. So we're going to select right here. Now we're going to see what is the mistake here. So let's say selection, meaning that's going to be the wrong choice. I say,
The article.
my friend is oldest than me. What is the error here?
Older, the
Comparative.
adjective. Is
That's
Very good.
superlative with
The
comparative.
because
Very good. That's it.
comparative
Superlatives and comparatives. Okay. So right here is going to be er instead of est.
ERG, yes.
Yes.
Now in syntax we have I want that he comes here. What's the problem here? I want that he comes here.
The meaning?
No. What is the error here? Is the selection. We have selected something that is wrong.
Maybe
No?
that? Or maybe that?
Maybe
Okay.
I want to come here. It to comes here.
No.
I want him to
I
come.
want he to come
Very
here.
good. I listened to that over there. So here is going to be I want him to come here.
To come
Okay.
here, yeah.
So that's it. So the choice of words right here was wrong. Okay. So that is going to be the selection error related to selection based on syntax. Now ordering. What would happen if you're going to confuse the order in which words are going to be written or pronounced? Example, instead of significant, we say significant.
What?
Instead of significant, that is the right word, we're going to say significant. Instead of plural, we say plural. Instead of cerebro, we say celebro. Right?
Okay.
Celebro, señores, celebro.
¿Qué celebra?
That's it, right? So right here, instead of murciélago, we say murciégalo.
Okay.
¿El COVID qué?
Odontólogo. No sé.
Very good. Instead of what is this other word? Chocolate.
Your favorite teacher.
Cocholate. What?
Teacher, your favorite chulo.
No, no, because we're not inverting H and then C instead of CH. No, no, that's not that's not correspond here. Okay, but well, it could happen, but no. For example, when we say instead of saying cafe, we say tafe with T, right? So right here is going to be changed the whole thing, right? So right here, the ordering. Well, no, sorry, that doesn't correspond.
Teacher, a common problem is when we say pronunciation, and is how is it?
Pronunciation.
Pronunciation. Yeah.
Pronunciation. Right? Okay, very good. Okay, in morphology, we see right here that instead of saying getting up, we're saying get upping.
Entiendo.
That
Okay,
that actually happened.
worry
Or
not. So, for example, can you check the chat right now? No, 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 do not check the chat. I'm going to open right here. What I have this document. This document works. Okay, so right here, I'm going to use some. Damn it. Sorry, I'm going to use right here some examples on how this could be affected, right? So what we're dealing right here is going to be just the way in which these words are going to be exchanged, right? So for example, when we say getting up, right? So that's
Yeah.
correct, right?
Okay.
That's correct. Well, that is not. That's correct, right? But instead of saying getting up, we're going to use get upping, which is wrong. Okay. Now, what is happening right here? What we're doing right here is going to be just inverting the position, the way, the conjugation. You know that verbs are going to be just the ones which are going to be conjugated and not prepositions like up, right? So what we're doing right here is something related to ordering, right? So the right order in which you're going to do the conjugation. Example, let's suppose that
Okay.
we're going to use this verb, get over, right? And we know that the past simple of this is going to be gloss over, right? But let's suppose that we learned this in a wrong way and we're going to say get overed.
Okay. Yes.
You get it? Okay. Now,
yes.
one of the verbs that I
Yes.
like the most, for example, work out, right? So,
Work outing.
exactly. So the problem right here is going to be, I'm going to use right here this.
Teacher, but I think in
Yeah.
the
Work
example, the
out.
problem is not just morphology, but morphosyntax because it's affecting the syntax of the verb.
Very good. Yes, but still it's going to be just related to the morphology part. Why? Because we're exchanging the position, right?
Yeah, and that's part of the structure of a sentence.
Very good. That's it. So instead of
Okay.
saying working out, we're saying work outing, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, syntax right here,
Okay.
syntax right here is going to be number one. Well, this is going to be just strictly morphological. Yeah, it's affecting somehow the syntax. But in the end, what we're going to be just related to the ordering in syntax is when we put or when we place the word in a right position. Example, we have here. Shoot. He is a dear friend to me. Right? He is a dear to me friend. What would be the right conjugation of this or the right syntax for this?
He is a dear friend
A
of
dear
mine.
friend. A dear friend of yeah, a dear friend of mine.
To me. Is a dear friend to me, right? The structure is okay, but the position of the word friend is the one that is wrong, right? So in
Right.
this case, we must say that the position of the word friend here is okay. You get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. You're very clever. Finally, in lexicon, when we say, instead of saying car key, we are saying key car, right? So we're exchanging. Example, instead of saying work out, we say outwork. Instead of saying get off, we're saying off get, right? So we're inverting right here, and we're trying to create a new a new word. from the one that is it has been already established. Okay.
No.
Nope. Okay.
Okay.
So here, this is just merely inversion when we're going to be, so yeah, in lexicon, for example, when we say black cat, and the error is going to be cat black, right?
Yeah. From Spanish.
Yeah. So it's going to be like some like exchanging the position of the words, but the one that is going to be next to the other word. So, en parroquial, si por ejemplo en inglés aquí tenemos la estructura que es car key, para decir la llave del carro, y vamos a tomarla tal cual del español, entonces nosotros decimos es key car, llave carro. Lo mismo que para decir, por ejemplo, que yo digo en español gato negro, y no sería gato negro, sino negro gato en inglés, which is going to be black cat. Got it? So it's going to
Yeah.
be just lexicon.
Yes.
So when you're going to do that inversion based on the rules established in the mother tongue. Okay.
Yeah.
Right here, explanations of errors. No. This one, no. This one, no. Here, this one, this chart. Okay. Okay. I'm going to answer right now the question that was already posted here. Nope. Shoot. Damn it. What is that? Can you make a review general about error and mistake once again? Okay. So I'm going to answer Suleima's question, right? Here. Okay. So here. We're going to catalog the whole thing as an error, right? So there are going to be just two little aspects related to the main difference related to errors and mistakes. So errors are going to be just related to the competence, meaning the competence, the knowledge you have about the language, in which there are going to be just errors related to transfer, intralingual, and there are going to be unique errors that people just commit by themselves because of the lack of knowledge and about something, right? You don't know how to say things, and you start spitting out words, and you think that you're communicating something, right? So the transfer is when you get all the knowledge you have from the mother tongue, and you're going to implement it inside the foreign language or the second language. Okay, what is the case that happens mostly to people that live in the frontiers, right, in the borderlines of some countries, example Mexico and the United States, right?
Yeah.
For example, in Puerto Rico, they take, as they have both languages as the national language, right? They say, for example, this they use this what
This chela.
is this word. So, for example, in English, it is call back, right? Okay, how do you translate call back in a what? In a very pragmatic way.
Devolver la llamada.
Very
Yeah.
good, devolver la llamada. How do you know, or do you know how do you do Puerto Ricans translate this?
Llamar de
No.
regreso. Llamar de regreso. Ah, no.
Hasu.
And they have translated that into llamar de para atrás, right? Not only Puerto Ricans, but people from Panama, people from Dominican Republic, they use this, right? And for them, it is good, but still, it's going to be an error, right? Because they're using English as a referent for them to implement this into Spanish, okay? So this, in a very good way, is totally wrong. Okay, contextual, but it's totally wrong. Okay, now intralingual. Okay, you know some things related to intralingua. So what is going to be the issues related to intralingual errors? Give me examples.
Inside the language.
There. Okay, yes. So while learning the language, okay, so you're learning the language, and what do you think? It is okay, maybe because of the lack of knowledge, you're going to do, or you're going to what perform something wrong. Example. Okay, so I'm going to say like this. Let's say that we're going to learn the what? This one. The near future, right? So what is going to be the formula for near future?
Going
What?
to.
What?
So we're going to say it as be going to, but there are going to be some books that they're going to say like, or some web pages that are going to just rephrase it like going to.
Going to
Or there
future.
are going to be some teachers that they're going to say that vamos a ver hoy el going to, right? So
Sí.
here, right here, what we're adding is going to be something that is related to the lack of knowledge, okay? Okay. So in this part, this lack of knowledge is going to be altering the real way in which something needs to be taught or learned. Instead of saying that it's going to be what used as be going to. And instead of saying that this is going to be another way for us to take it as a present continuous form in which you know that the verb to be is going to be conjugated, right? With am, are, or is, and then you're going to continue with the structure going to plus the verb in infinitive. If you say that, if you teach that in that way, so maybe the learner is going to comprehend even better the complexity of this. If not, they are going to use this as in Spanish, because in Spanish we say and they're going to say
I going
and that
without
is going to be
the semantic.
very good. So that is going to be the
Syntaxis.
syntax. Very good,
Syntax,
the
yeah.
syntax part.
Yeah.
Because we have to say that is going to be right. I'm going for water.
I am going, yeah.
I'm going for water. Or that we're going to use I'm going for water, or I am going for water. Okay. So that's it. And finally, unique. But why unique? So, for example, you don't know some techniques on how to process your thoughts and convert them into English. Therefore, what we're going to do is to tell whatever it takes or whatever comes to your mind, and you're going to start adding just words. And you think that you're communicating something, but in the end, no, you're not communicating anything, right? Now, related to the mistakes are going to be just focused on the performance. So meaning when you're going to talk. Example, you're going to process problems, right? Something that happens to me a lot. I think a lot of things at the time, and sometimes I get stuck, right? And then I start repeating one word. I don't know what to say next, so I have to come back. I have to ask some questions, and that is going to be created some kind of mistakes right here, right? And also related to the communication strategies, right? Or maybe you don't pay attention what you're saying, but you know the rule. You have used or implemented the rule, And finally, you made that mistake, right? So why? Because you're not paying attention. That is called uh, that is called
Lack of attention.
lapses,
Okay.
right? So that is that lack of attention or a lapses. Okay, very good. I'm almost done.
Teacher, one question.
Yes.
I want to say in Spanish, for example, ¿cómo se le dice a las personas? O sea, cuando yo hablo con alguien en inglés, con un nativo, y esa persona, y yo le hablo mal, pero aún así él no me corrige porque le interesa más es el mensaje como tal del ejercicio de la comunicación que mis errores.
That is called being a sympathetic listener.
Esa
So,
palabra,
what is that?
sí, esa era, profe.
Sympathetic listener. So that is different, right? That is when I'm going to be wearing your own shoes, right? Trying to understand what you said. And the only thing right here that is important is going to be just to understand the message, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So, for example, mi hambre, mi querer comida. So over there, you understand that I'm hungry. I want some food, right? So it's going to be like that.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, continue with this idea. Zobel in 1980 summarizes some of the characteristics of errors as this, right? So,
Sympathetic listener.
sympathetic listener, yeah. So we're going to see right here this errors. So they're going to be like 6 ones. So number one, interference produces errors that are not like developmental, right? So this is not part of the development of the language learning acquisition process. Now, if you're learning something that is going to be wrong, so it needs to be corrected. But if you continue with that error, that is going to create some issues later on, right? So, for example, when you go to high school and teachers they tell you something like manzana is apple, and you come here to the university still saying apple, right? So that is not something developmental. That is going to be a huge a huge error right here, okay? A huge issue. Number two, learners depend on L1 as a crutch at low level of L2 proficiency. And that is right. Why? Because what you're going to do is something like to make a relationship on what you know about the grammar structure of your mother tongue, and you're going to compare it with the grammar structure of the second or the foreign language. Number three, learners use mother tongue to hypothesize about the second language. Example, si esto se dice así en español, it could be said the same thing in English, right? Same thing that happens, for example, with similar languages, like, for example, the Roman languages, such as Romanic, Italian, French, Portuguese, and Spanish, right? So you're going to hypothesize and you're going to create your own assumptions about that. But when something is wrong, you're going to you're going to think that sorry, if you don't know that that's wrong, you're going to assume that you can use it. Number four, learners are unable to separate L1 from L2, meaning translation. Example, this happens in first semester, second semester, and even in third semester. Profe, pero es que yo no sé cómo traducir eso. Yo no sé cómo se dice eso en español. Example, I'm going to use something from passive voice, and it says something like, how do you translate this in English. I will have my house painted by next week. This is passive voice.
In Spanish,
Yeah.
voy a mandar a pintar mi casa la próxima semana.
Okay, very good. Tendré mi casa pintada para la próxima semana. O voy a mandar a pintar mi casa para la próxima semana. O habré mandado a pintar mi casa para la próxima semana. That is when you know the rule of causative have and causative get, right? But if you don't know the what, if you don't know the rule, so this is going to be something like tendré mi casa, no, habré mi casa pintada para la siguiente semana, or something like that, right? So it's going to be like that. So right here, you're not able to separate what you learn in Spanish and what they're going to learn in English. Example, I remember a student that I have in third semester, if I'm not wrong, third or second semester, and he was talking about this superhero, and he said, "Teacher, I really like Lantern Green." It's like who? Lantern Green. It's like
Linterna verde.
Lantern Green. Very good. So now he was doing a false translation about that. Very good, because it is Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Here, learners' errors are due to L1 habits. Yes, of course. If you learn something in a very wrong way in your mother tongue, trust me, that error is going to be transmitted or it's going to be transferred into the foreign language. Got it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Finally, learners employ an interlingual generalization, and we have been talking about that, and all of this is going to be just related to generalization. If you learn, for example, that example, this one, perfect. So let's say that we're going to talk about plural, right? In plural, we're going to say that pen can be used like pens. The pencil is going to be used like pencils. Oops. In the what?
Children.
Very good. That
overgeneralization.
Children is going to be children's.
Children. No, child and children's. No, child and child's.
Child's.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Or we're going to say children. We're going to say children's. We're going to say child's. By taking into account, this is going to be just child.
It means they don't take into account the regular nouns.
Very good, because they don't know that they're going to be just regular and irregular nouns. Okay?
And that's overgeneralization.
Very good. That's it. That's a very good example about that. Okay. 20 minutes to go. Okay. Here, something else from the document. Here. Okay. Zobel and Liceras, 1994, distinguishes intralingual errors from interlingual ones as follows. So I'm going to show you right here this. Worry not, I'm going to I'm going to share these documents to you for you to work. Okay.
Yeah, please.
So here, what's this? Okay. So here, errors are similar to those made in native speakers, right? So once again, you learn something wrong and you're going to implement it wrong as a native speaker does. Example, if I learn to say la calor, and you're going to say la calor or la agua or la moto or el moto, right?
Yeah.
This would happen the same thing with native with with foreigners, right? Example: I was listening to a concert, and the singer from Germany was trying to learn some of Spanish, right? And he was he was trying to say, raise up your hands, right? Levanten las manos. He made his best effort and he said, levanten los manos,
Baila.
right?
Esto. Bad.
So, so it's not los manos, it's going to be las manos, right? So right here, he learned that in a wrong way, as any native speaker can do it, okay? Number two, learners create similar rules to those of native speakers. Yes, of course. So if I say this in this way, I'm going to say the other thing in the same way. Okay, so you're going to create like an equation for you to follow the same aspect.
So teacher, if I have
Right?
problem in my mother tongue, I'm going to send it on my new language.
Most probably, right?
Okay.
And it is going to happen vice versa. If you correct those errors in the foreign language, you are going to correct them into your mother tongue, right?
Yeah.
Because you're learning something from a different perspective, and then you're going to compare that with your mother tongue. Once you
You
know that there's going to be a huge difference, you're going to try to learn more from your mother tongue. That happens.
usually with words. When I translate,
Very good.
I know the meaning even in Spanish, so I search.
Very good. Very good. That's it. Number three, errors reflects learner's competence at a certain developmental stage. Yes, so it's going to be A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, or C2. Number four, learners try to construct hypotheses about the second language. Based on what? Based on the mother tongue. The foreign language or the second language. Yes, of course, right? There are going to be some proper errors that belongs to the foreign language, and maybe they're not going to be from the checking from the mother tongue. Number six, errors reflect general characteristics of acquiring language rules. Number seven, learners use strategies of simplification, generalization, and reduction of grammatical redundancy. Right? So if I can say this in this way, it is going to happen the same in this other way. Example, present simple. For example, I say, I go, you go, and then the typical mistake, he go, or she go, or it go, right? So generalization.
Yes.
If you don't know how to use, for example, the past perfect continuous form into the passive voice, so you're going to reduce it or you're going to simplify it, and you're going to try to use the passive voice with the tense you feel the most comfortable. Or instead of using that, you're going to use active voice.
Okay.
And that's all about this document, right? So you can watch it. It's a very nice document, and you can check it over here. Okay, what about this one? A linguistic analysis error in learners' compositions. The case of Abra Mensch, university students, right? It is kind of long, 33 pages, but there are going to be just interesting parts right here related to this document, like this example. What is going to be related to the error analysis procedures? So the error analysis procedures are going to be related to number one, defining a corpus of language. What is corpus? Question.
Mm,
The writing part.
Very good. Could be the writing part, the written part. Written. The written part. Yes. What else? the set of materials that you're going to choose for you to analyze. That's the corpus, right? So let's say,
La grilla?
no, la
Rejilla?
grilla no, la rejilla tampoco.
No?
Just the documents you're going to use for you to analyze them,
Ah, okay.
right?
Got it.
Now, identifying the errors in the corpus, classifying the errors, and explaining the errors, they are going to be related inside the grid, right? So it's going to be like that. Now, defining is this. The first step in error analysis involves collecting and defining a set of utterances produced by foreign language learners or second language learners, right? So it's going to be just the group of files that you're going to use, right?
Okay.
Now, error identification. Right here, you're going to identify what is going to be the errors. So, for example, what are you going to do when you're going to recognize an error? So easy. You're going to
Correct.
no, you're going to just identify. They're going to just do like this, right? So you're going to highlight them. You're going to identify them. So let's say that what I have highlighted are the mistakes or the errors, sorry, right?
Okay.
So it's going to be like that. So identify that. Once you have identified that, you're going to describe them, right? Sorry, classify them. So what is going to be the classification of them? So if it is going to be just related to syntax, it's going to be related to morphology, it's going to be related to semantics, pragmatics, grammar, whatever, right? And then we're going to describe them. So based on what? So if it's going to be just number one, the linguistic taxonomy, right? So related to what you see right here. So
Classification of the problem.
very good. So phonological, orthographic, grammar, semantics, lexicon, discourse, or syntax in the end. Phonology and orthography is going to be just related to morphology, right? And the syntax, the order, right? Very good. Now you're going to see the surface structure taxonomy example. So if it is going to be related to the previous document, if it is going to be just related to addition, omission, misordering, misinformation, right? Regularization, and that's it, right?
That's
So
the
this is going to
source
be
of the
that is the
mistake.
source. Very good. The source of mistake, right? And then you're going to explain the errors. But how are you going to explain the errors? So I would like you to read the whole the rest of the document for you to see in which way this author was explaining the what. Yes, right here the author explains which are going to be just the errors. For example, right here, addition. Example, the people are facilitated to other obstacles. So we can say are facilitated to other obstacles, or the people facilitate to other obstacles. Example, I was argue that sex before marriage is not necessary for adults. Or you can say, I argued that sex before marriage is not necessary for adults. Or I was arguing that, so we're going to try to understand this based on the context, right? For adult peoples. Right here we have the problem, right? So generalization.
That is the corpus.
Yeah, that is going to be the corpus, right? Okay, cool. Well, I'm not going to waste more time on this, taking into account that I have only 7 minutes for me to finish this. I'm going to show you this example. There's a nice example. You're going to what? To read this, and then you're going to look for the what for the for the identification of mistakes and the way in which they have been corrected. So I need you to try to understand this and to create the classification of these mistakes, right? Because the document doesn't provide that. The following one is going to be just a grid or a code for us to use related to, for example, when you're going to correct the texts that are going to be provided by your teacher. So you can use this. For example, if I have this, a WW, that is going to be wrong word. In the following example, we have, as our plane flew on the mountains, we saw snow. So the error right here is going to be on, because the right word is going to be over. You don't fly on, you fly over, right?
Okay.
So in this case, this is going to give you the ideas on that. What I would like you also to do is to classify these codes. So for example, wrong word, what is that? Syntax is going to be semantics, it's going to be pragmatics, it's going to be grammar, is going to be what? I would like you to analyze that. This other document, what? No, maybe this the other document, no, because it's going to be just written corrective feedback in writing instructions. So this is going to be just for the next term, talking about feedback. But this, we're going to work on this. So for example, here, classify errors in learner's language, right? So for example, we're going to see right here that you're going to use from your texts, right? I'm going to create something here for you to watch it.
Yeah.
Ouch, ouch, what happened here? Ouch. Right, for example. So let's say, we're going to, okay, let's say we're going to add this. And what I would like you to do is to get the text, right? And you're going to create line by line. Let's say this, right? So these are going to be the lines, right? Line 1, line 2. And you're going to get a text. I think I have a text here. This one. Even better, like this. Right? I'm going to share this document too for you to watch it. And what I would like you to do is this. So right here, the number of the line. So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 9, right? As we have it here, 9 number. And then you're going to look for the phrase with the error and the type of error. So if it's going to be phonological, if it's going to be morphological, it's going to be just syntax, or it's going to be maybe the wrong verb, right? So from here. And then the target language reformulation. So what is going to be the correction? And then possible causes of errors, and then the explanation of it. Got it? So this is going to be a kind of grid that you're going to use. Here, I'm going to, no, here you're going to see, for example, in this document, I really like it, right? So there's going to be a very good explanation about what is error analysis, describe the types of error, source, and cause of error, right? I'm going to share this document via internet because the printing part of here was horrible. And yeah, so for you to have it. So if you want to check it right now, it is going to be here. What are you? Oh, this is not. Damn it. There. So this is one. So you can open that and you're going to see what it's about. Right? So you can read it and you're going to see examples, you're going to see definitions and everything. I think this is the most complete document that I have related to the part related to error analysis. Finally, this example. Here, this one for, it says Carla, but I don't know who Carla is, right?
What? And then
Okay.
with the camera.
This is the only one right here. Okay, cool. This one, and you're going to open it. And here. You're going to watch this. There's going to be a video about this. There's going to be the transcription, right? So it is in Spanish, but not to worry. The thing right here is that I would like you to, well, right here you see that there's going to be just 100 lines, right? But it's short in the end. So what I would like you to do right here is to analyze the errors right here. So for example, it says, en mi foto hay un carro negro y una casa blanca encima, arriba y abajo tengo tabique. So what is that? So I need you to analyze that. So watch the video for you to be aware about that. What I like about this resource is that you're going to see right here the line in which you're going to have the error, the type of error, the target language reformulation, and the possible causes of errors, right? And here, if you want to compare what was done, so you're going to see right here, which are going to be just the errors that were made. Okay?
In Spanish.
Yeah, it's in Spanish, so for you to work on it, okay? So,
okay.
And that's all. What is this? Something else? No, that's all. Okay? So, I told you 2 hours and almost 2 hours, and I'm off. Guys, from this moment, I'm going to stop recording, and I'm going to stop the sharing my screen, and I'm going to stop the recording part. Okay? And that's all.